Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video, this time with the LEGO City Coast Guard 4x4 response unit. It's 347 pieces, and it's currently retailing at $39.99. So, what's pretty cool is that we get this little buoy, little red buoy, an octopus, a little jet ski, or not jet ski, a little motorboat, the 4x4 itself, and the Coast Guard, like, deployable, I guess, is what I'll call it for the sake of this. Inflatable, Coast Guard inflatable, that's what I was trying to think of. So we get a total of 3 minifigs plus the little octopus guy here. And I'll show you guys an up-close visual of all 3 of them with and without their gear on, because we have like a scuba diver, we have the life jacket on her, and that's really it for like the accessories portion. So let's get right into it. So here's our first guy. This is the scuba diver. He has the same wetsuit as the surfer from the Coast Guard starter set. He also comes with a little camera accessory, which is pretty cool, and of course his scuba diver helmet, the goggles, which do flip up, and of course his scuba tank in the back. So I'll go ahead and show you that he does have 2 different faces, so I'll go ahead and show you guys the other face, and I'll also take off the scuba tank and the helmet so you can see basically the whole character detail here. Give me 1 second. So here is the scuba diver without his tank and mask on. And as you can see, it's the same exact style of wetsuit that was on the surfer. And still has the reflective zipper there and the double-sided head. So nothing really new here, just a duplicate but with some little bit of accessories. Here we have the casual kind of style Coast Guard character here with like a Coast Guard jacket or sweatshirt and a orange, I'm gonna guess it's like a sweater underneath or something like that. Got the blue hat going on, some blue jeans. Overall, not really anything new that we haven't seen before if you've watched the starter video. But overall, still, I like the character detail on these guys. I've always kind of gone over that and said that they've never really failed to make or give good details on the bodies here. So that's the Coast Guard guy, the first one, and I'll show you the woman right now. Here's the Coast Guard girl with her life jacket on and a pair of binoculars with her. Here's the back with just a little reflective stripe on the top there with the buckle. Here's the side. And then I'll go ahead and take off the life jacket there to show you the front of the character here. I think it's pretty interesting how they chose to detail the Coast Guard figurines, because they give us a life jacket, but on the detail work for the bodies themselves, it looks like they're already wearing a life jacket on with the little red floaties there, because even it's got the inflatable straw on the top right, your top right of the life jacket there. So, you know, just something interesting that I found, how they did the detail work and then included the extra life jackets for the characters. You know, just something little, but kind of interesting at the same time. So now we'll move on to our first part of the set, which is, actually, no, I'll show you guys the octopus first, just to get the all the characters all done in one swoop. Our favorite octopus friend. So nothing new, same octopus we've always seen, just, you know, I put some clear flat studs for the eyes because it's not in the instructions, but it was what I had left over and I thought it might look good. So something I threw on there. You don't have to do this, but I thought it looked good. And now we'll move on to the little boat that the diver is trying to get off of because the engine is blown and on fire. So here's the engine in the back here on fire, and they've simulated the prop in the back with just a black stud, which is kind of nice. Got some mobility that you can, play around with. Nothing too crazy though. And then we have our little throttle right here for the prop and for the engine. And then what's nice is that these boats actually do float in the water, both of them. So, and if you want to just have the diver before the catastrophe, you can just, take the flames right off, and it just looks like a nice normal boat. And then if you want, you can just put the flames back in, and boom, you have catastrophe again. Happens that fast, ladies and gentlemen. Now I'll move on to the 4x4, and then we'll get on to what I think is really the main attraction, which is the boat and the trailer that it comes on. But before we get to that, there's always something that I forget to go over, or I see something else that I feel like I want to go over first. So here's the buoy. It's nothing too crazy. It does have this nice blue little rounded 2x2, so it always looks like it's kind of floating around. It's like kind of wobbles, on its own. I like kind of how it was done. I like the detail work on it. I think it actually came out pretty good for their part limit and how they designed it. The tiniest of gripes is just that right there, how this just doesn't go in all the way. So when you pop it in, it just doesn't go down all the way. But other than that, I actually love the buoy a lot. I don't know why, it was one of my favorite parts of this set, just because of how it's able to wobble around and do its own little thing. So now we'll move on to the 4x4. And here we are, the 4x4. They did include working doors on this guy on both sides. The Coast Guard color scheme, of course, the orange, blue, and white for the sides, and it wraps around the back and goes all the way to the other side. Working door again on this side. Have a little radio on this side and the antenna on the other. Wheels and kind of like a step up to get into the vehicle itself for the minifigures, I guess. Here's the front with the grill, big grill, and what they did was, I thought was interesting, they put an orange stud and then a clear stud, so it kind of like gives you the illusion that it has a blinker right onto it. Moving on to the back, we have kind of just the rear bumper, the brake lights, and some blinkers on the side. This is the hitch right here, so we can attach the trailer to it. It's got some space back here because you can put a little utility piece. I'll show you that. It's got like a couple bottles of water in it, a fire extinguisher, and another life preserver. What you can do is you can actually just pop this guy right in here and keep it in there, and just kind of do what you want with it, really. Just like that. That just sits right in there. So, to get the minifig in there, all you gotta do is pop the top off. Oh, and it's also got this cool light bar on the top. Pop the top off. You got some room in there to fit the minifigure. Not a heck of a lot, but you're not going to be putting more than one person generally in this because the steering wheel is right in the middle there. So now we'll move on to the last and final attraction, the boat and the trailer. So now here we have the inflatable with the trailer here. I'm going to go over the trailer second and go over the... actually, no, I'll go over the trailer first, and then we'll go ahead and get to that guy. So, nice detail work. These are not printed pieces. These are just some decals here and here. And then we have basically the holding area for the boat itself. Nice little details in here, and it holds it actually quite perfectly. And these little guys right here flip up, so when you attach it to the 4x4 itself, you don't have that extra bit hanging off. And now finally for our kind of main attraction is the Coast Guard inflatable here. And so these two, oh, here, let me get this into focus. These two on the sides are printed pieces. However, the Coast Guard, the 04 on both sides are decals. Nice little engines back here that have the ability to kind of move up and down. So when you have it on the trailer, you can have the engines up, and then when it's in the water, you can put the engines down. This boat does float as well, just like I said before with the other inflatable. You have a nice little kind of set of controls here. They use the same two printed pieces here. Actually, no, they're not. Actually, are these printed? These are printed pieces, yeah. That's really one of my only complaints with this guy, is that they used the same two. If they had given us, you know, maybe a different one, just a different printed piece over here, that would have been cool. But, you know, just little gripes again. It's always how it is with me. We have a radio on the right side of the boat and a megaphone on the left. 2 PFD rings on the left and right side of the vessel. And then we have what I showed you before, which the life vest fell out. Oh gosh, everything's falling apart on me. There we go. Is the 2 bottles of water, fire extinguisher, and the PFD in the front, the extra. Got our little steering wheel right here, right in the back. And then we have the same roll cage that was used in the starter set as kind of like a bridge, I guess, or a structure for the inflatable itself. And you got your radar dome up top, an antenna, a smaller antenna, some nav lights, and then you have your 2 larger communications antennas in the back. So overall, really enjoyed putting all this together. It's got the round 2x2s, so it kind of sits level with itself, which is nice. Really enjoyed this set, really enjoyed building it, and even though I thought it was a decent amount of parts and pieces. Usually I don't like the single piece instructable or instructions or pieces or parts or whatever you want to call it, because it just generally speeds up the building process so much. But they added quite a bit of detail into the boat itself, and I was surprised at actually how long I got to spend building it. I thought it was just going to be, oh, I'm going to put a couple pieces in the boat and that's going to be it, and it won't take me very long. But it actually, you know, provided me with some entertainment for quite some time. This trailer is one of my other favorite pieces here, with the flip down stands, so you can actually, I'll show you how the boat just sits perfectly in this guy. Like, doesn't really wobble around at all, and I think it looks really good. We can put the engines up a little bit just for a little bit of flair, and then I'll show you it attached to the car itself. Once you do that, you can take these and just flip them right up on both sides, and boom, there you go. You have your trailer attached, no problem. So if you liked the video, guys, please leave a like, and if there's anything that I didn't cover or something that I missed or didn't go over, please let me know in the comments below. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, and of course, have fun building, guys.